Okay, so you said it makes you feel better about yourself. So what triggers all this? Like when you're with your ex-husband, do you feel wanted? Do you feel loved? Do you feel
Yeah, it definitely made me feel that way. I feel like, when I'm sleeping with this man, at that time, they want me, they kiss me, it makes me feel like I'm being loved. Um, you know, Definitely makes me feel like, someone want me or I'm important to someone. It makes me
okay?
feel very important.
Okay. So does that happen with all the guys you're with, or it's just one particular person?
I would say with my ex-husband and my ex-boyfriend, yes, it definitely does. Um, because they will stay with me, they will take me out if I need to go out. They will bring me stuff, but like the other two gentlemen is just strictly sex.
So there's nothing attached to it, no feelings, no nothing, even for the guys.
No, just for the two, my ex-husband and my ex-boyfriend.
So the other guys, have they said anything of attachment?
Not really. Like the other gentleman, he's
Uh,
married, so I know he has his wife. Um, the other guy, we've just been sleeping around. He really hasn't said anything like he wants me to be his girlfriend or he wants me to be, his whatever. But I'm trying to break things off with my ex husband.
mm-hmm.
I feel like, even though we're having fun, we're having, having the sex, I feel like our marriage never worked. And I feel like, you know, we just need to focus on like taking care of our daughter and just keep it that way. Like I don't feel like I wanna keep seeing him
Keep saying your
differently.
ex. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about when you never had anyone
Hmm.
in your life, like when there was no sexual partner.
Hmm.
So how was it for you? How was it dealing?
So I suffer with depression and anxiety, and when I don't have someone like giving me the attention that I need, I definitely get into that hole of depression. And the times one time I think last winter I stayed home for 6 months and I only went out when I had a doctor's appointment. My depression can get really bad sometimes where I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to see anyone. I don't go to church. Even when like important people call me to check up on me, I don't answer. I don't eat much. I just kind of like stay home and be like in my depression. And my depression is mostly about things that happened in my past with the sex abuse and like my daughter having needing a lot of medical treatment and like my failed relationships. So all of that just you know fill my mind and I get trapped and I just stay home and I don't want to go anywhere.
Okay. So how does the anxiety kick in?
So the anxiety kick in, you know, I think part of it is because I'm mad at myself. I'm mad at myself for being vulnerable, but even though I was a child, I feel like I wish it was something I could have done. Looking back at my youngest self right now,
Mm-hmm.
um, I was helpless because I was a child, basically a young kid being taken advantage of. But that makes me, I have a lot of guilt and I have a lot of anger about that. So then I have anxiety of like, I like things a certain way. I like being clean. I um, like my home. If you see my home, I have a lot of stuff. I'm not a hoarder or anything, but I have a lot of stuff. Like I don't want to get rid of anything. I want to keep everything that I have, and everything is like meaningful to me.
So, when you got married, did you tell your husband, your ex-husband, about what happened to you?
I think the first, like maybe the first few months when we were married, just trying to be like having like romantic
Hmm.
night. Um, there were times where I started crying, and he asked me why, what's wrong. Um, I think maybe like a month or so after we got married. So he asked me like, what's wrong, and then I explained to him like, oh, this is what happened when I was a child, and he was very understanding.
Did he ever see you in any depression mode?
I think after my daughter was born, I think my daughter was like maybe 6 months old, and I was diagnosed with like postpartum depression, and then it got really really bad to the extent where I didn't want to hold my daughter, I didn't want to carry her, I didn't want to feed her. I even rejected her, like, no, that's not my child. So my husband had to take care of our daughter. During that time,
Hmm.
my depression was intense. It lasted over like a month. I was medicated. I was doing therapy every week. I was taking like a medication. Um, but I think with the postpartum depression, I felt bad because like I couldn't really take care of my daughter.
Okay. So, when having sex, do you protect yourself? Do you sometimes you just go with the flow?
Um, so right now, I'm 68, so I know I can't get pregnant.
Hmm.
So far as like using condoms, I really don't, but I get tested like so often during my yearly physical. I get
Hmm.
tested. Um, but
So,
yeah.
so why don't you use condoms?
I don't know. I mean, the guys usually don't want condoms. The partners that I have, they usually don't want condoms. They say it's better.
Okay.
It feels better when you don't have condoms. So I just usually just go with the flow.
Okay. So you just go with the flow, whatever. Have you been with any guy before your four partners? You're saying that used condom often.
Um, I think maybe in like college. If I can remember that far, maybe there was someone I dated. We were very careful. But I think being like with my ex boyfriend, my ex husband, and the two other partners that I have, I really don't worry much about that because I'm 68 years old, so there's no way I can get pregnant. Yeah.
So, let's rephrase to your college life. How was college for you? Did you?
College was okay. It was, well, I mean, I'm very shy anyway, so um, I kept to myself a lot. I studied a lot. I did good. I did well in school, but
No partners? No.
well, no, not really. Not like a permanent boyfriend, but just people that I, hang out with, go out with, and once in a while, you
Mm,
know.
no sex with them or.
Well, yeah, there was sex involved, like maybe hook up with once in a while. Yeah.
So tell me what a typical Saturday is with one of your boyfriends.
Well, like
Since it's Saturday, it will be your ex-husband, right?
yeah. So like, if my ex-husband, if he comes in like today, for example, he usually brings like things we can cook. Like he'll bring meat or like fish or some kind of seafood or like vegetables, and then I'll cook it while he sits down and watch the TV. And then after I'm done cooking, we'll eat, we'll talk about our daughter, how we can help her. And he has a lot of financial issues. He has a lot of bills that are like, overdue right now.
Okay.
And I'll help him, kind of like get that situated, like come up with a plan, like what he can pay first or not.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, if we're both not too tired,
Mm-hmm.
we'll like have sex.
Like once, twice, or
It depends. I mean,
does it ever come and you didn't want to have sex?
yeah. I think one time he got upset because I wasn't up for it. I think I was a little bit sick that day, and I was more tired than usual. And the medications that the doctor have me on, like for my depression and my anxiety and my post-traumatic stress, makes me feel very tired. So I wasn't up for it, and he didn't understand, so he was upset.
Did you try to explain to him?
We talked after he left. I called him. I think I called him 4 times. He didn't pick up, but the fifth time I called him, he answered the phone, and we talked about it. And he was like, he couldn't understand why I was holding out on him. I'm like, no, I'm not feeling well. My medications were making me feel tired, and I had a bad day the previous day. So he wasn't very understanding. He's always been like that, though. I think that's part of the reason why we're not married anymore.
Okay. So what if you're with your ex-husband and your ex-boyfriend wants to come by? What happens? Have you ever encountered that scenario? One of the guys you're mingling with want to come by and hang out, relax.
I mean, my ex-boyfriend. So we were high school sweethearts.
Mhm.
So he's always on my heart. I like taking care of him, and right now he has medical issues, so I take him to his appointment. So sometimes he will come visit me. He will stay over. We go out. We go out to like Dunkin' Donuts or like the Burger King next to my house, and we'll spend time there. Usually, there's always people that we know from the neighborhood that will stop by to say hi to us or sit down with us and have a cup of coffee. Um, as as long as I don't want my ex-husband to know that I'm seeing my ex-boyfriend.
Why?
Well, I mean, it would be awkward. It would be awkward, and I don't want any trouble.
So you feel both of them won't be happy, or you feel your ex-boyfriend won't be happy?
I think my ex-boyfriend wouldn't be happy seeing my ex-husband because our relationship is stronger than my relationship with my ex-husband.
Why do you say that?
Because we were high school sweetheart, and I've known him ever since we were kids. Um, he has his own issues, so I can relate to him, more than I can relate to my ex-husband. He's caring, he's loving, um, he's there for me when I need him. There's times where he helps me financially with my rent if I need any help. Um, I just wouldn't want them. I just wouldn't want any awkwardness, or I wouldn't want them to like get in an argument or anything unusual to happen.
What about the two guys you're sleeping with? What if you're with one and one wants to come over? What happens? Since they're both in the same group.
I think with the guy that's married, I've been thinking of ending the relationship anyway.
Why?
I just feel like he's married, and his wife sometimes comes to the group that we meet every month,
She's
and
basically your friend, or she's like your acquaintance?
she's not really my friend. To be honest with you, I don't like her very much. She's kind of like a B, but I think just to like not I have so much going on right now with my daughter being sick. So I think I'm gonna end stuff with like one guy and hopefully end stuff with a couple more and just keep my ex-boyfriend. Yeah.
Okay, so that's the plan. So what happens to the second guy, the one that's not married, that likes you and told you he likes you, but you feel he's flirtatious?
I I want to end things with him. He's a nice person. He's a great guy, but I feel like he's using me. It's getting to the point where, even though we were just having sex, but I feel like um, most people will call you and check on you, be like, "Hey, are you okay?" Even after just sleeping with you, but he doesn't call. When we're done, I don't see him again or hear from him until the night that he's coming over. Um, I'm looking for someone that can give me more emotional support, and with him, I don't get that from him at all.
So does he? So how do you with him? How do you guys plan to meet? He calls you, he texts you, or it's a scheduled thing?
He usually texts me. He would text me, and if I don't answer, he would call me. But he usually call like the night of, or a couple hours before he comes over. Yeah.
So why do you keep accepting him? Since how long have you been sleeping with him?
No, it's just 6 months. Just 6 months now.
And the married one?
About 8 months.
And when did your ex-boyfriend come into your life?
Well, my ex-boyfriend and I, we have this on and off relationship.
That's
You
been going
know.
on for how long? Forever?
Yeah, I would say so. Even like after we broke up in high school, I met my ex-husband in college. We still, after my divorce, we kind of got back together.
When you were married with your husband, did you ever cheat?
No, I didn't. No,
Even with your ex-boyfriend?
no, I was very careful.
So all this started happening when you had a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
When did you have a divorce?
I think around when my daughter was like 30 years old. Yeah, my daughter is what now? She's what, 44 years old. So we've been divorced for, yeah, that time.
So within the 10 to 12 years you've been divorced, has there ever been a year or a year or two like there was no guy in the picture?
Like I said, when my depression,
Mhm.
I think maybe doing like half of the months in a year, I don't really go out much,
Mhm.
and I don't really talk to a lot of people. So I'm very quiet. I keep to myself. Um, Except for the little groups that I'm in, and if I have like my doctor's appointment, like I have a therapist I see once a week, and I also have a psychiatrist that I see once a month. He does my prescription. Um, but I really didn't put myself out there a lot, you know.
So what do you think that leads you to this thing called sex?
I think for me, it's like an emotional need, and also just being there for someone and making them happy. Um, I think being sexually abused, it's hard for me to tell what's right and wrong sometimes when it comes to sex. If someone just want me for sex, or if they actually like me or need me. So for me, sometimes I just sleep with someone because I think maybe that's what they want, or maybe that will make me feel happy, and not really not knowing the difference.
Okay. I've heard what you said. I think we should draw out a plan.
Mhm.
Um, how it's gonna go and how to at least make you be safe. So you said you want to stop talking to your ex-husband and every other person.
Mhm.
So we have to draw out a plan on how that's gonna work,
Mhm.
and we have to draw a plan on how you're gonna protect yourself. I mean, it's not it's not something you're just gonna close your eyes and open and it's done
Mhm.
because it's always a process. It's always one step at a time, baby steps. We already understand what's going on. We just need to follow the steps and know how to manipulate it so you feel better about yourself, feel more relaxed. There are different things we could use. Um, right now, I think we have to talk about condoms because you have multiple partners and you're not having sex with any of them without the with the condom. So you could forget about you being pregnant because I mean you've gotten to the stage that you can't get pregnant anymore. But what about diseases? What about if your ex was sleeping with somebody else without a condom, and your husband's ex-husband is sleeping with another person without a condom, and the two guys you're sleeping with, we're sure he sleeps with his wife without a condom, and the other one without a condom, then you're in the middle, and everybody's sleeping with you. That you might end up being sick, and you might end up have a disease that is incurable, and you still have to take care of your daughter because she's basically your top one priority right now. So I think one of the plan is we should always have condoms, even if they don't want it. So you have to learn how to think about you first and how to take care of your daughter since your daughter's not feeling too good, and you want to even be there to help your ex-boyfriend. But if you're sleeping with everybody else without condoms, you could get sick and you won't be able to give the care you're supposed to give to the people that you care about. So condoms should be one of our plans. Then talking to, do you want to minimize who you're actually having sex with? The one that is married, we already know he's married. We know there's no attachment. There's no attachment. He does. You've already said he doesn't care because you know he has his own wife. He's just there because of the sex, and you feel the same. So you have to sit down and have a conversation with him to know and tell him how you feel and communicate. Same goes to the other guy that you feel is fictitious and you feel he doesn't even call to check up on you. There's no emotional attachment there. He just wants sex. So he's coming over for sex. He sends you a text. Oh, I'm outside or I'm here. And that's all you're good for. And you started feeling differently about it. So you need to have a conversation with him too. Then when it comes to your ex-husband, you have to sit down too and talk about it. Is your ex-husband bringing all this stuff just to have sex with you? Because paraphrasing from what you said he came in and the day you didn't feel like having a sex. It was a problem because you didn't feel like it. So are you guys just going to stick on being a parent to your daughter, or you guys are trying to get back at it? So the communication has to be established there. And the one you really like, which is your ex-boyfriend, you still need to talk to him and tell him, are you guys doing this or do you guys want to be friends? And you guys need to protect yourself because of all the things out there. And there are different group, like our advice, like there's some group therapy you could do. Then hear other people to hear what they are going through. And there's things you could do, mindfulness. You could read a book. You could go for a massage. You could go for yoga, like to ease all your stress out. And I know you're the only one caring for your daughter right now, except your husband just talking about your kid. You're the one doing all the physical attention. You're the one going to the doctor's appointment. So sometimes you need to take care of yourself too. Like read a book, watch your favorite show. So take that out, and I'd like to see you in a week to know how our plans are coming up. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.